Well, I want to give you another thing I suspect about the HHO, which may be really effective on, is effects from radiation. Now, when you're talking like an antioxidant and that type of thing, free radical damage, well, if something has effect against free radical damage, it's going to have an effect against radiation too. The activated charcoal has been well known to be used like the Fukushima area, the Chernobyl accident, whereby it would minimize the effects of radiation. It would absorb, the radiation particles and minimize the damage. And if you also look at like Dr. Cathcart and Dr. Levy, who are pioneers with vitamin C. Now, not maybe the real pioneer. The real pioneer would have been going all the way back in the 1940s with Dr. William Frederick Kleiner and Dr. Reardon after him, and then other ones came later, but also Dr. Levy, Dr. Cathcart in more modern times. You could take oral vitamin C, it can help, but also intravenous vitamin C, very powerful against the effects of radiation. Now, when I'm bringing this up is because we know that 5G is going to be very damaging. And of course, Trump is all on with that because I think he's compromised, man. He is. He is. I mean, it's what are you going to do, man? It's like the lesser of two evils or the lesser of 10 evils or whatever. It's a thing we're going to be stuck with unless, I don't know, something major happens and, maybe we have a Carrington event of 1859. It repeats itself again as we go into the grand solar minimum. There could be an EMP from, not an EMP, but I mean a solar burst that can bring down, electronics, and that would bring down the 5G system real quick. That's a possibility. It's not even a remote possibility as we go into the grand solar minimum. But in the meantime, what are you going to do? I highly suspect that this hydrogen, HHO, hydroxy gas, which is HHO, okay? It's H2, it's HHO, it's O2, it's a ratio of H, hydrogen, and oxygen, the ratio 2-to-1, just like water, I'm making it right now in the bubbled water. Yesterday I did about an hour and 15 minutes on this thing. I'd like to do more, but it's like, how much time do you have actually on my computer out here? I was watching, the George Wiseman videos very carefully, and I picked out a lot of information from him. Now, one thing I can tell you, what I'm suspecting is that if this works, as a free radical scavenger, why wouldn't it work against the damages from radiation? Also, I've heard a lot of things about one way or the other about carbon C60, which I don't have out here right now, but I took some of it this morning. I still take that every day. I don't take the colostrum every day because once I got it, everything got it fixed in my bioflora. That was one thing I was talking about. I feel fine. I mean, I still have really good energy. Just I don't have enough time in a freaking day to get everything done. But I've noticed that I have even more energy with this thing, with the hydrogen. Now, this is a makeshift unit, but this makeshift unit could probably be good for topical application. Maybe not so much the breathing the gas, because it's probably putting out too much where it's at a dangerous level. But it could be good for topical application. You still got to be careful with it. Bubbling the water, and also bubbling the bath water. I noticed I tried this several times with the bath water, a few hours, bubbling the bath water with the hydroxy, the electrified water, because this gas is actually 6 parts. It's molecular hydrogen, H2, molecular oxygen, H2, atomic, just the single hydrogen atomic atom, the single oxygen atom. Then there's HHO. Then there's also H2O plasma, water in the form of a plasma. It's got so many electrons that it turned into a plasma. It's not a vapor. It's a plasma. You can put it at 0 degrees Fahrenheit and it's still a vapor. It doesn't freeze. It's a plasma. I think that's one of the main reasons this stuff is actually head and shoulders above hydrogen itself, and that's what George Wiseman's been pointing out. But he actually does what I picked out from his videos. He's actually breathing the gas several hours a day, which means at least 3 hours a day, but many times probably more than 8 hours a day. And he's actually breathing the gas. He doesn't tell people to do this. He only said it a couple brief times, that at a percentage of 8 or 9%, which is like, about double the safe limit. I know why he's doing it, because he's got such good results, but maybe that's why he got good results. I don't know. I'm not, I know I'm going over the safe limit too on this, but hopefully I'm being careful enough. Yeah, I know. I got my battery charger out here. I got my computer out here. I got my other battery charger out here, and just keep the hydrogen. But once you get, I tell you one safe way you can breathe the gas though, if you have, a production that's too high. You see how this is right here? It's bubbling in here. If you breathe it right from the mouth of this, right from the mouth of this, after it's bubbling in the water, you're going to be safe that way versus putting a hose right in your mouth or a cannula right in your nose. You're going to be safe that way because as soon as it gets about that far away, a lot of it's dissipated. You're still going to get some good effect from it. That would be a safer way of doing it, because even if you do that for 5 minutes, it's going to make a big difference. But I found that the baths they seem to be to do the most. I want to try doing that again versus taking a shower. But a lot of times they set up the whatever you call it. I don't know what this damn message is. Windows. I got my Windows 7 Lenovo computer here. I'm gonna be watching this guy O'Connell, whatever it has. That was another good one. And a lot of these videos are going up on BitChute now. I'm gonna be trying to beg for change and stuff like that. But don't give me money if you don't have money. I mean, if you got less money than me, don't give me any money, because I'm not broke. It's like, and I'm probably going to be attacking a lot of crap that YouTube doesn't want out there, and that's going to be on BitChute. Exclusive content I never put on YouTube, because if they want to make enemies out of me, they did. All right, so what? But you could do this. What I love about this thing. Like, this thing's got no electronics on it really at all. I mean, I could hook this up to a solar panel instead of the battery charger, and I could run it. I mean, there's nothing in this thing. It's just a couple wires and some plates and some electrolyte. It runs. So I'm going to be breathing the gas here, watching some videos at the same time. Also, by the way, I highly suspect this is an electron donor too, the Parazapper. This is the Parazapper Plus, one of the older versions. They got like a Plus 2 now or something like that. When you use this so many hours a day, I noticed an energy increase, but I also looked at the research from Hulda Clark. She says it makes your immune system cells temporarily into supercharged immune system cells. And the way with this positive offset works, together with the pedestal offset, it's oppositely charged as the microbes. So just like, your cells are just like a battery charger, like this, So if you're using this, it's giving a little more voltage, but the microbes are oppositely charged, so it's decreasing their voltage. That's why the positive offset works, especially together with the pedestal offset, which the pedestal offset is also in the Parazapper Plus and also the Uzi 3C. So, yeah, I had a bad battery here in my El Camino. As soon as they get 5 years, no matter what the hell you do, it gets a little out of warranty. They break. Even that big one, that 27 group, whatever. So I had to get another one 2 o'clock in the morning the other night. So, but this I got the Chinese welder unit that you can use for HHO, not really supposed to be used for health purposes. I'm making an extra bubbler for it. I got the part coming in. Even if you don't use that for breathing, if you use it for making the water, or when you're making the water, you breathe it off the top here instead of like using it in your nose or in your mouth, where you're breathing it right from the hose. That makes the safety go up exponentially, just breathing it off the top here, because you're still getting some of the HHO, and when it gets about an inch away from the water, a lot of it's dissipated, so you're not getting that much. It may be just enough to help you out. So, I mean, if you do that 5-10 minutes a day, even that's going to do a lot. But the thing is, these cheap units, now that's something like this, but say like the Chinese welder, say you have it plugged into a power interrupted protected socket, and you have your extra bubbler with it, just like I have. Yeah, I know, I got real rednecks here. They're real professional video here. This is the Chinese welder thing in here. That's, it just produces hydrogen. So I made this one. This thing doesn't seal well enough. I got a container that seals better. That's coming in. That'll be my bubbler. And even something like this, you keep it away from the bathtub. You have it plugged into a power interrupted circuit, and you use a nice long hose, with a, it goes into the bathtub with a weight that bubbles the water for a couple hours. And that alone, I mean, for like 125 bucks, well, plus the cost of the extra bubbler, $10 or something, you got a lot of the benefits. I get a feeling that, and this is why I like YouTube too, because it's not YouTube per se, but I get feedback from people. Somebody was telling me that some guy in UK was using the HHO in the bath with frequencies, and was getting outstanding. People are getting outstanding results on their skin and how they feel, which I was suspecting that too, because you're breathing it. Your skin is your largest organ. Hydrogen goes through your skin like nothing. It's like way smaller molecule than anything, right? The H2 molecule. Plus, you're electrifying the water with extra electrons with the plasma water in the bath. That's all going through your skin. It's all going in there, right? What I'm going to see is I have a little bit of like roughness right here on both that finger and this one right here. If that goes away, I'm going to say this works. But, I'm not using this several hours a day because I don't have time. Because I'm doing these YouTube videos for you guys. And I'm giving it to you in common sense because, like, you could do this dirt cheap, too. And still be pretty safe. Because, the main problem with these units that produce more hydrogen is that, the unsafe part comes when you're breathing it. Because you have to limit it how much to get it down to a low enough level to where, it's not explosive in your lungs. So, you can guess and maybe take measurements and stuff. If you do a measurement, say if you adjust the electrolyte down and you get it where, because as this thing keeps going, it produces more and more hydrogen. So if you figure it at a 30-minute level, it's below where it needs to be, where it's safe. And you just run no more than 30 minutes at a time. You let it cool down for an hour or so, and you'll do another 30 minutes. That's one way of doing it without getting fancy. Just adjusting the electrolyte down low enough to keep the production low enough. But, the other way is you can just breathe it through the top of that thing. But then if you're in a bathtub, I don't know if you'd be getting too much in your lungs, but if all that is on your skin, it's going to be getting in your bloodstream really good, I think, because the hydrogen and the electrons are so small, all your capillaries in your skin, it's going to go right through there. It's going to get in there real quick, right? So it might be just as effective, if the bath water is really charged for a few hours with this hydrogen and HHO and electrically expanded water plasma being pumped into the bath water. Plus, if you're using a little bit of borax, the boron, whatever it is, the mineral, and also the Epsom salts to keep it in there a little longer with the minerals. Well, I think, it may be as good, or who the hell knows? It might be, if it's not as good as breathing it, it might be pretty close. I bet you it's way more effective than drinking the water, though. But I was using this thing. This thing plugged. I had to plug into a power interrupted protected circuit, so it was pretty safe. Because I had it away from the water and stuff. But that's one way of doing it. I think you'd be pretty safe with that, because actually any of these units, even the professionally built ones, you can't get, even George Wiseman's unit, you can't dunk it in the bath water and expect not to something short out or something. You don't want to get it all splashed on wet. Nothing electrical works with water, you know what I mean, pretty much, unless it was totally designed to be waterproof to the max. So, even the units that are not designed for the health purposes, they're not that much more unsafe than some of the other units, because, when you're, in some ways. If I get a unit for my, because I have this unit and I have the other unit that have a higher production. If I get another unit that's a professional one, I'll probably get the one from Hydrogen from Health versus George Wiseman's units, because I already have units that produce a lot of hydrogen, and I would want a unit that's real portable, because my main problem is I'm out and about doing things. I'm going to this desk, that desk, over here to over here. If I grab the unit that is put out by, I think it's Delvis 11, so the guy's last name is Dell, and he's got a unit, I think it weighs like 6-7 pounds. It's like real small, and it's got a handle on it. even with the electric light in it, it's like 6-7 pounds. You can run it up to 4 hours. So, to me that's perfect, because that would allow me to breathe this stuff a lot more too. But as it is, I'm going to be breathing this out here right now. I know it's not that safe. I'll be watching that. I'm not going to put this near the freaking computer where there's a spark. And I did slow down the production a little bit. And I have my timer out here, so if I do 15 minutes, then I hit start, stop, then I just add it. So yesterday I did, I think 78 minutes, so an hour and 18 minutes. That's not too bad. But it was a pain in the butt, because I don't like sitting here freaking breathing gas while I could be doing something else. And so I usually take something out here to read. So now I got my laptop. I'm going to be watching this O'Connell guy on YouTube. I forgot the hell damn guy's name is, but notice I watched here George Wiseman, right? George Wiseman, Carbon C60. I watched all his videos like 3 times. I think he's very legit. I know he's trying to make money and sell something. Who isn't? Okay, that's not the point. I think he's very legit. I know he doesn't look like a 25-year-old yet. It's like, but he did go backwards in age. There's no doubt about it. And he does make a safe unit. And there's Osmio is going to pick up, I think, his unit. He takes. I think he takes the original Chinese welder that's cheap, but he's adding so much to it. That safety features. So I mean, adjustability. It can add frequencies. I know some big corporation got a hold of like this technology, and if they wanted to, they can really probably put the same thing out for $500 maybe with mass production, but they will not, because this would put medical right the hell out of business. What I think is going to happen here, I'm going to not really emphasize medical benefits so much. I just wanted to put out about the 5G and the radiation, because I think this would actually very much help with that. As activated charcoal, carbon C60 will not work to help 5G. It'll work the other way around. Boy, is that disinformation. The vitamin C would help. I think the Parazapper would help too. Any of the antioxidants, but then this is a selective antioxidant with the hydrogen, also the electrified water. What I'm thinking is that's another use, but what I want to actually emphasize is cosmetic purposes, blemishes, wrinkles, scars, psoriasis, dry skin. Try this stuff out for that. This way you're not stepping on, I want to emphasize it that way, this way you're not stepping on the medical people's toes, because a lot of times they allow things for, just skin blemishes or something. Like the example is the violet ray. They said it doesn't work, it's a quack device, it's developed by Tesla. It was a cheap alternative to using the Lakosky multi-wave oscillator. It actually does work, okay, for his medical device, but the AMA freaking declared it as a quack device in 1952, but they allowed it for medical, cosmetic purposes. So it does work. It does work for cosmetic purposes. It'll reduce blemishes, wrinkles, and scars and problems on the skin, age spots, and all that kind of garbage, because it's adding energy to the affected area, which works for everything. I mean, not just, cosmetic, but I'm going to only emphasize the cosmetic on this. And also, what the hell, there was one other thing, cosmetic and, geez, I forgot. But that keeps me on the safe side. I hate that shit when I forget something. Let me think of it. I just remembered it. Cosmetic and energy levels. Like, if you say something gives you more energy, that's not like curing a disease or freaking affecting a disease. This thing does seem to give me more energy. It seems I can get a while by with less sleep. I remember the other night I had like 3.5 hours sleep or something. I went to the gym late. I had to get up early, and I was up real late in the morning, even after that same day. And I had good energy. I was like, whoa, that's kind of weird. That's kind of like the old days when I was like in my 30s or 40s or something. So, and actually back when I was in my 30s, it was more like my 20s. I looked like I was in my 20s or something. I always look about 20 years younger than I am. I'm hoping to look 40 years younger than I am. That'll do it. And I'm not, I'm begging for money and BitChute and all this wonderful crap. But, if you don't have much money, do not give me any money. And if you give me money, don't make it more than $3. Okay? I'm just trying to save you some money and point out some common sense things out here. And since YouTube pissed me off, I'm gonna request monetization again. I'm not adjusting any of my videos. They might freaking delete my whole channel or something. I don't know. But in that case, they'll even piss me off more. I'll be writing to all my, not just writing to my representatives. I'll be going out to the public, making a big stink about everything, what they're doing in big tech, how they just got to control people. They don't give a crap. They're just nothing but control power-hungry freaks. And, California cracked off and fell in the ocean. I wouldn't even care. I really cared about my Tiffany Gold Digger kitty cat. You big tech monsters, I care more about a cockroach than you people. Tell you the truth. Really. Honestly. Really. Don't care. Yeah. So, anyway. There's ways you can get by a lot cheaper, I know somebody remarked that George Washington's just trying to make money, find a use for, I don't think he is. I know everybody's trying to make money, okay? Everybody, all right? Everybody. That doesn't mean you're bad. You got to make money, okay? I think the guy's legit, He's like, and I don't really call him a super genius, but I like the guy because at first I thought, yeah, what is this stuff, I really didn't pay attention to him. I saw him like some years ago, but a lot of this stuff with the hydrogen in HHO, because basically this is HHO, hydrogen and electrified water plasma. It's not just hydrogen. It's freaking way better than anything else I've come across, I think. But it dovetails into all the other technologies, like the Lakosky coil, even the Beck zapper, the Parazapper, different types of herbs that can actually add energies to your body. Like, for instance, I'll just say this real briefly. If you eat processed foods, there's no energy in it. The frequency is zero. You can eat whole foods, it's got more energy, it's got more vibrance. The fresher the whole food, the better it is. It's more vibrant it is. If you take herbs have more vibrance and frequency and energies in them more than whole foods. And if you go to the top of the line, it's essential oils. Like the quality essential oils have energies and frequencies in them, and they raise your energy in your body also. That's all going along with the kind of, thing that's going on with this. It's got energies in it. Even when you're out in front of the sun, something simple. The sun's down right now, it's just going down. Energies are coming from the sun that we don't see. You can just get 15, 20 minutes worth of sunlight. That helps you out a lot, and that don't even cost you nothing. But I got a feeling this thing is even stronger. And, things like the Lakosky, you can wear these coils, you can put them around your body. Those help direct energies into your body. This works like a little capacitor. This is what it was called a simple Lakosky coil. Everybody was doing these back in the 1930s in Paris. They work on plants. Like you make this coil, and you put this coil like around like that size around near the base of the plant. It's copper, and you have this side facing the sun, and you open. That's like a capacitor. It stores energies in and around us, and all of a sudden it jumps across that, space. This probably shouldn't be that wide in this thing, and it puts the energy into the organism or me or the plant or whatever, and it directs it into the one area. It stores it and directs it into there. That's why these stupid things work. You think they're quackery? They're not. They're not. They don't do a real lot. This isn't high tech, but it does something. But I think this, bang for the buck, the hydrogen and basically the HHO, hydrogen and the plasma water are like the best bang for the buck, probably. The Parazapper for zapping, definitely. Yeah, I guess one advantage you have with the Parazapper is this knocks out microbes in water, which, what is the body, over 90% water? It doesn't work in a body, it only works in water. Yeah, I know. Well, isn't a body like a big water container for even the CIA calls us wetware. Why do they call us wetware? Because we're mostly water. So why wouldn't this work for freaking a body too? No, I don't know. The FDA says you can't say that. Well, it works for water containers that are also contained in skin and blood vessels. So why wouldn't it work? It's just a big body. It's just a big water container. CIA calls us wetware. So this works for kill parasites in water, right? In water. Now, this is adding electrons It's working on the same kind of principle in a way as the Wachowski multi-wave oscillator. So, it's making the body work better, and the body itself does its thing. But then, could it be adding electrons to viruses? Maybe, right? So, like, if you're using this, along with that, well, maybe not this unit, I mean, this is the redneck version, you know, you got the ticket to freaking knocking out pretty much anything there is real cheap, right? Now, I know Google is trying to get together. I saw a Dr. Google email came in to me today, and it said, yeah, we got to get together and you with your healthcare provider, and Dr. Google is involved in, like, Dr. Google, go to hell. You're freaking nuts, man. You can keep that for Susan Wojcicki can go to Dr. Google. Good luck. Anyway, that's enough of this, but just remember that this might be highly effective against the problems that we're going to be forced to face with the new 5G network. That's going to be unavoidable. Now, the problem with them spying on us, I don't know about that yet. Let's just hope there's a quarantine event of 2022, and it wipes out the whole 5G network, shuts down Google, YouTube, and nobody can get at their money. And I'll go hunt rabbits out here and skunks and possums and stuff and feed my cats with that. And, you know, let it just call it a day. And let the freaking big multi-millionaires and let's say billionaires, figure out what to do next, right? And, oh yeah, I know Google doesn't like me, or YouTube doesn't like me. I know they said on my channel I was demonetized because of hate, because of that flag. You know what that flag means? Screw big tech, screw big government. We want to be independent. We don't care. Over now. It went too long. I'm sorry. But I never intend to go this long, but that's how it is. And again, you know, I'm going to be begging, I'm going to be doing shorter videos on BitChute, dropping dimes on the people that I was not dropping dimes on deliberately, because I favor them. And if, you know, they want to piss me off, man, you know, ADL pissed me off. If ADL wants to think that flag's bad, well, screw you, man. You're gonna find out. Because, you know, honestly, I know it's not because I did the research, but, you know, I lean heavily Jewish, but I'm not the guy that wants to control the world, okay? And I tell you, 99% of the Jews don't want to control the world either. But there's a few, on the 1%, the problem is they're freaking smart. But so am I. Oh, here's a Black Ops helicopter coming by. No, just kidding. Just a freaking stupid helicopter. Anyway, over now.